Welcome to this episode of Connecting Cherokee. I'm Amber Holcomb, Realtor with the Carl Hawthorne team of Atlanta Communities. And on this podcast, I like to interview local professionals and business owners that I think are interesting and that you should get to know. And today, we get to talk to Deanna Gale. She is the resource coordinator for not only the Cherokee County Senior Services, but she is also the resource coordinator for Stand Up for Seniors, a nonprofit here in Cherokee County. So, welcome, Dee.
Thank you. Glad you find me interesting. It's an interview.
Well, I look up to you. You are doing so much in the community for our seniors, and you're doing some really remarkable work. So, I know Dee from some local networking groups that we're both part of, and the more I kind of followed what she was doing, the more I knew I needed to not only just connect with her to get to know her better, but to be able to have her on here and share what she's up to and all the amazing resources here in our county for seniors. So, Dee, tell me about, kind of go into what is it you do with the county?
Sure. Well, I help senior services and the nonprofit in trying to gather resources that's going to help the seniors in our community. Because we have different areas of things that we handle with senior services versus the nonprofit. So, and the nonprofit is a separate entity from senior services, so I want to make sure everybody understands Stand Up is separate. It is not part of the county.
Right.
So I'm kind of a dual role, if you should say. So I try to just get whatever information I can get that can help the seniors in our community as much as possible.
So, in more specific, the services that seniors can come get or get through the county, what do those entail?
Okay. Well, with senior services, we have our activity center, which is on half of the building. We are located on Univetter in Canton. And so we have an activity coordinator, and we have about 35 to 40 seniors kind of per day that average from 8 to 2 that come in, do, and Sydney has different activities. That's something she coordinates. We have a Silver Roamer program that is run out of senior services. That's an active adult group that kind of goes all the way around Georgia doing, whether it's plays down at the Fox Theater, whether they go down to the new Kia plant in South Georgia. They just kind of, that's why they're called the Roamers, Silver Roamers.
Nice.
So we have a coordinator that manages and runs that program.
That sounds fun.
We have Meals and Wheels that's out of senior services. So we have a staff that runs the volunteers for that. They also, work there to manage that group. And then we have case managers. Between all the case managers, we probably serve around 300 clients. All this stuff comes down through the Atlanta Regional Commission through funding. And so that grant funding through the federal government allows us to know how many people that we can actually serve. And then we also do some light housekeeping. So we have a homemakers group out of our senior center. And then on the nonprofit side with Stand Up for Seniors, that's a volunteer group that started the organization in 2000.
Oh, wow.
So we're 24 years old. And so that group helps with financial assistance with low-income seniors in Cherokee County. We help with minor home repairs. We call it senior comforts, but that might be a lift chair. It could be a wheelchair, a rollator, things like that can help them just continue on in life. So we fundraise to help do all those little programs.
That's amazing. There's so much out there, and getting the word out is really important. Now, you're doing a great job of that because I'm seeing your events for Stand Up for Seniors all over the place. So and those events are how you fundraise. Is that right?
Yep, we fundraise through several events. Our biggest one is coming up October 2nd. We have an annual golf tournament, and it's at Bridge Mill. We're excited. It's full again this year with players. So excited about that. It's always a fun day. Got a few fun activities planned this year for them that they don't know about. And then we are doing a pickleball tournament this year. Our first one, that'll be October 20th. And I can, of course, give you details to share with everybody for that. And then we do monthly luncheons, which we have one coming up this Friday at Merrill Gardens. A lot of the assisted living communities, senior communities, will host a monthly luncheon for us every month. And those $10 per lunch proceeds come back to us. And then, of course, we've got great donors in the community that help us. But yeah, we try to do what we can for the lower income seniors.
It's a lot. It really is. Now, the Senior Education Symposium that y'all just held.
Yes.
I think y'all are going to hold 3 this year, with the third one being in December.
Yes, December 5th.
Yes.
Yes. So we decided as a group, we kept feeling like the calls that came into senior services, a lot of people, especially adult children of their elderly parents, were calling and do call in crisis mode. And sometimes just the seniors themselves. And so we felt like there's so much information out in our community that they're just not getting to or hearing. So we thought, why don't we put together an education symposium, try to bring as many vendors in as possible. This is not a fundraising event. And so Canton First Baptist has been so generous because Alvin, the senior pastor up there, had the same idea. I felt like it was a God wink because when I spoke with him over the phone, me and one of the other board members just had a meeting prior to talking to him, and I felt like he was reading exactly what we wrote down for our plan. And so, you know what? We got together, we put our heads together. December 5th will be our third one for the year. We plan to continue next year to have more, and each time have a different speaker to speak on a topic of something that you all might want to learn about, know about, and how to get that help in our community.
I was one of the vendors for this one. I learned about it, I think, about a week before when we sat and talked.
Yeah.
And I went ahead and signed up and had a table where I was talking to folks about what I do and how I go about helping folks with smooth estate transitions and getting organized ahead of time, kind of like what we were talking about off to the side, about making sure that you're thinking ahead about the what ifs, right? And planning ahead. So that's part of what I advocate for with all of my real estate clients. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. There was a lot of good information. The speaker talked about Medicaid and Medicare, and there were so many other business owners there that provide services and advocate and are passionate about what they do. I made a lot of really good connections there, and I learned a lot. So it's one of those that I'll put information out for the next symposium that's coming up, and for the other events that Stand Up for Seniors is involved in, so that we can get as many people coming to these events and armed with information and connected with excellent resources like Gale here.
Yeah, because the more we feel you're educated, the more because in the moment you might not think, we don't have that problem yet. We're not dealing with that. You may think you never have that. And the next day can just be a whole new story. So, we're just trying to, as much information as you can gather, have on hand, and so that one day, when you need it, it's there for you, and you can pick up that brochure or that information, your information, or whether it was a transportation company or, a home health care company, it's there. And you can pick up a phone and say, it's my turn.
And it makes it easier to get the information you need to make the decision that you have to make.
Absolutely.
So, all right. Well, we're going to switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
So what is one of your favorite memories working with seniors?
Oh, well, there's a lot. But what really stands out for me is during COVID, our senior center had to shut down. So, you kind of miss seeing them coming in each day. And so we decided, what can we do? Let's get out there. So we would take some Chick-fil-A lunches, and we would dress up in costumes. We'd have different themes. And we would have music and just have little skits like it was hot in the summer. And one of my coworkers, she had dressed up in like a duck outfit. And, we'd have fun letting the seniors, we'd give them water guns and squirting her. So by the end of the day, she was soaked. But you know what? We saw them laugh and they loved it. So that's all that mattered. And then we got to see them because we hadn't been seeing them. So we got to kind of lay eyes on them and see if they're doing okay, if there was anything they needed. So that was probably one of, and then another one would be during Halloween. We always, at senior services, dressed up in costumes. And one of my coworkers and I, we decided to be Andy and Barney from the Andy Griffith Show. And so we did a little Andy and Barney skit. So, they got a little chuckle out of that. Well, we got chuckles out of it as well. That. Yeah.
Great.
It was fun.
Well, what is something that the world may not know about Dee? Is there a fun fact or anything that you would like to share?
What would you not know? Well, I've been living here 20 years, 21 this year. I'm originally from Illinois. I am a northern girl. So when y'all say you want your snow, I'm like, I've seen a lot of it. I'm good, but it's okay. And then I'm married. I have two sons. One lives in Florida. He's 36. And then my other one is turning 25 this Saturday. And he recently got married this year. So I have a new daughter-in-law. And the older one is getting married next year.
Oh, wonderful.
So, and I have a new grandpup, which everybody says to me, whew, if you're doing this much for your grandpup, I can't imagine when you get grandchildren. And we can't wait for grandchildren. We're ready. So
wonderful.
Yeah.
And you have an anniversary coming up as well.
Anniversary, yes. Oh, gosh, it'll be 27 years this Friday.
You're going to have a busy week.
Yeah, and then my son turns 25 on Saturday. And then it's my birthday after that on the 25th.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Well, speaking of birthdays and having fun, right? So where do you like to go when you have time? Because I know you're busy, right? Advocating and doing all the things keeps you busy. But when you do have downtime, where do you like to go to unwind?
I typically, I enjoy going antiquing with my niece. We have little hats, Thelma and Louise, we call ourselves. We have fun doing that. And we are the slowest people walking through those antique places.
I am always the last. Yeah.
Pretty much can take hours in one store. People don't understand it. I don't know. We just look at everything. Enjoy that. I love going to farmers markets on Saturday morning. I enjoy our downtown Woodstock. It's a great place. Downtown Canton's growing and booming just the same. Enjoy that as well. So yeah, and then hang with my new grandpup, So
all right, what kind of dog?
He is a golden retriever. He's like probably 5 months maybe now.
So he's all teeth right now?
He's all teeth. Yeah.
Teeth and fluff.
Stubborn. That is a stubborn breed.
They're sweet. When they
are.
Grow out
he's the
teething, they're sweet.
He's the best.
Right. So is there a nugget of wisdom from your line of work that you would like to share?
Yes, I would. I would hope that anyone listening, that you think about your neighbors, if you have any that are seniors, reach out to them, know your neighbor, love your neighbor, see what they need. If they live alone, know that isolation is not good for them, and they really could probably use a knock at the door, just checking in on them, making sure they're okay. And also don't forget that, as we age, we tend to think we've got it all. People probably tend to think we've got it all figured out. everything's planned. A lot of times you don't think about the hiccups in life. You don't know that, your loved one might get dementia and you didn't see that coming. You might lose your spouse earlier than you thought that was going to happen. And so there's a lot of things that might be that you're unprepared for. And so then you just might not be ready for it financially. You may be someone that maybe your husband took care of everything at the house, and now all of a sudden, you've got to take care of that. They may not have family that lives close by. And unfortunately, there's a lot of families that don't help their elderly parents. So I see that as well. So just don't forget about your elderly folks around town.
Perfect. That is coming from you. I can't imagine a better advice.
No,
so,
thank you.
What is the best way for people to find you online?
Okay, well, we do have Stand Up does have a Facebook page, and we also have an Instagram account. So it's called Stand Up for Seniors. You can find us there. We try to share not only our information, we also try to share other things in the community going on as well, especially like maybe the sheriff's department, just different things like that, so that you can kind of keep in the know. And then with the county has their website, and you can find senior services there.
And I will have all of that information in the description for this video, links, contact information for both of us for you to reach out and get some assistance, get some advice, maybe get some direction on something that you have been worried about or concerned about. But we're here to help. It's what we do. Well, thank you, Dee.
Thank you.
It's been great having you today.
Oh, thanks.
So that is all for this episode of Connecting Cherokee. If you are interested in reaching out to either one of us, please don't hesitate. We are here to help. And that's all for today. So see you next time.